Hi, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be talking about grant-funded photography projects for CICs and as individual artists that get Arts Council funded projects. So before I jump into that, please hit the subscribe button to get more tips on CICs, grant funding and Arts Council funded projects. Also, you can jump over to my website and do my online course, How to Set Up a CIC and Get Funded in 4 months, or ask me any questions. So that aside, let's talk about Arts Council funded photography project. So I've been a photographer for over 10 years and I have run numerous grant funded photography projects. So how did I get started? So when I was a probation officer, I started doing an evening photography course. Always loved photography, bought my first SLR, got into that, and then I had gate fever. I just wanted to quit my job and do creative projects, community projects and photography as a full-time thing. I didn't want it to just be a hobby anymore. So of course I needed to be able to earn a living, so I had to think about how I could have sort of private income from my photography, like weddings, photo shoots, the usual stuff. But I also wanted to start the CIC 4 Elements and actually do some kind of community project to benefit the community. And it was around my hobbies, which are at that time, I was really interested in photographing local grime artists when they were performing, doing their videos, doing photo shoots with local artists, and also photographing street art. So those are my passions, and I got into it, and I managed to get from the jump Arts Council and lottery funded projects to run just that, to be able to photograph and video the local music scene and street art scene. So it was a dream, it really was. So just from my SLR camera, I was able to get large pots of funding and also earn a living privately from doing other private photography work. So I'm going to give you my tips after obviously 10 years in, I've run lots of different projects. So I'm going to give you some tips of how to get a good photography project through the funders. So this is with Arts Council and the Lotteries Community Fund. So if you are to set up a CIC and it's a photography based CIC, just remember you need to be involving your community. So it needs to be something that brings people together. I've talked already in some other videos about how, and do watch those, because a lot of the common mistakes I get when I get photographers message me is they say, oh, can I just give free shoots to these disadvantaged people, say, you know, to help them with their body confidence, or to help them, maybe with mental health or whatever it is. And the answer to that is no, because that's not bringing the community together. So that's you doing something for another person, lovely cause, and that's something maybe you could raise funds for, but really that person needs to be funding you, needs to be paying for that shoot, and that's just something that's more of a one-to-one thing. You need to be thinking more along the lines of community, bringing people together. So one way you could do this is I did a great project doing photography walks in my local area. It was great. It was fantastic for everyone's mental well-being, for their creativity. People from different levels, photography levels, came and did them. Some people came with a phone, others were like pro, SLR with all the kit. So that was a great project. It brought people together because it was a free activity. People could come and join on it, and then we got out in the community, and then afterwards what I did is I collected everybody's images, I put them on an online gallery, and then I put them in our local library so they were on show to the community. So you can see there, that's a great way you can see that that's a good thing that they would pay for, because you're growing people's skills, you're sort of, especially if you're offering some kind of training as well, so mentoring them while they're on the walks, so that it's growing their expertise. So I was often helping people learn their settings. So many people have an SLR, they don't know how to use it, so you're helping them with their settings. I also did a workshop where we looked at photo editing, and they came to that as well. So that's another way to get funding, is through training. So you're empowering, you're helping people gain skills. I did lots of photography workshops with young people, young disadvantaged people that weren't engaging in education. Instead, I was bringing them in, doing lots of different media skills with them, and that was really popular. So that was a great way to get funding as well. And you could get children in need funding if you're doing something with young people that's beneficial that way. So anything that brings people together, gives them skills and improves their life potential. Those are the things that the funders look for. And in terms of the Arts Council, they want to see creative communities. They want to see art in the community. So exhibitions, books that are distributed, photography that's just out there so people can engage with it. So I have seen recently a fantastic local project that I wanted to show you and share with you, because this is a great idea. So the People Project, what they did is they have taken photographs of homeless people in Cornwall to raise awareness of homelessness in Cornwall. They've taken photos of these people, portraits, beautiful portraits, and they have put them up in the community. So, and I've seen them, they're all over the place at the moment. So they've done this exhibition in the community, brought those photos in through doing paste ups. So they have taken those images and they have pasted them up in various different places, and it's got a QR code on it. So if people see them and they're like, oh, what's this about? They could check the QR code, they could go to the websites and the social medias and they can find out more about that project. So isn't that a great way to raise awareness, to bring people together, to bring art into the community? So it just ticks all the boxes. So it's a really great photography project. And I'm sure as photographers, you could think of lots of things like that to do. I once did a project where I went abroad to the Gambia, and I did a photo project photographing and documenting women refugees who were starting their own businesses. And it was an empowering project. It was lovely to see them start their own projects and start their own businesses and create income for their families. And I documented how they lived and how they worked. And I put an exhibition on with that. And that was such an amazing project. That is something that I actually self-funded because it's something I wanted to do. But that is something you can get project funding for. Obviously when you start going abroad, but that is something you can get project funding for. You can do stuff abroad as well. And maybe you're doing it in like more of a research capacity, like, as I said, like documenting, finding out more. Maybe you're going to do some interviews along with it, or get some kind of written work as well out of it. So I actually took a writer with me at the time, my friend Mandy, who's a writer. So I did the photos and she did the writing, and then we put that together in a zine, and then we came back, did an exhibition, did a meet the artists. So that was a fantastic project and I absolutely loved doing it. So there's so many things that you can do as a photographer in terms of community projects, and working with the CIC is a great way to top up your already commercial photography business, is to have a CIC running alongside that has some kind of photography or videography element to it. So I'm sure that's got you all thinking. If you've got any questions, jump in the chat on my website. So go over to my website, there's a chat box. You can also see my course on there, how to set up a CIC and get funded in 4 months. So you can do that, get yourself set up. I will just say as well that you can do video calls with me if you've got more questions. All of that is over on the website. But aside from that, please subscribe to this channel so I can continue to keep giving you these videos.